Hey there, buddy. I hope you're doing well today. So, I've been training in a home gym for several years now, and I've been training in this tiny little home gym for just over 1 year. So, I thought it would be interesting to do a tier list for all of the home gym equipment that I use in my workouts. That way, if you work out at home, can try to prioritize some of the things that are more valuable to have and some of the things that aren't that valuable at all. Because at the end of the day, having a home gym can be an awesome way to really ingrain your fitness habit and just remove all of the barriers to entry to getting a workout in. If you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to go to a commute. And if you literally work in the same room as your equipment, it's pretty hard to skip your sessions and it's very easy to integrate it into your life. But of course, gym equipment can be costly. So when you're doing a home gym, it pays to start very, very minimal and then only buy things as you see an actual specific use case for them, right? Since most of this stuff is gym equipment, you can probably look on the secondhand market. Weight is weight, right? It doesn't matter how many times it's been used, it's still going to weigh the same. So a lot of the stuff in the home gym can be bought very cheaply on the secondhand market. All right, with that in mind, let's get into it. So we have our classic tier list here, S all the way down to F. And I hired a professional photographer in order to take some of these pictures of my home gym. Do you think I got a good deal on that? Do you think I got my money's worth? I hope so. These are in probably alphabetical order by file name, so we'll just go through them. So the first item here is, honestly, what is that? It's a pull-up bar. What more can you say about a pull-up bar? It's the only way that you can do pull-ups, and also it's super useful to hang other things from. So with the pull-up bar, I'm hanging my bands from it, I'm hanging my rings from it, and yeah, it's just absolutely indispensable. So I think no surprises here. We're going to go straight into S tier with the pull-up bar. If I could only buy one thing for my home gym, it probably would be a pull-up bar because I could do push-ups and handstand push-ups and things like that for pushing. But for pulling, there just aren't great options without something to pull on. Alrighty. Up next is a lovely picture there of my air conditioning system. So this isn't really gym equipment per se, but it is so valuable that I thought I would actually include it. I live in a place where it's very, very hot, like 6 months of the year. It's like above 30 degrees during the day. So for you Americans, like above 80 or something like that, and very, very humid. And yeah, it's not absolutely 100% essential to have air conditioning or to have just very cool climate in order to do your workouts, but it makes it so much nicer because when we're hoisting weights around, we're going to be huffing and puffing and we're going to be sweating. And yeah, having air conditioning or just some sort of good climate control, very, very important. So probably not S tier because I could some of the time live without it, but let's say A tier there. Alrighty, next up are elastic bands. Yeah, elastic bands are pretty fantastic, but honestly, I don't actually use them for that many exercises. So I think right now, the only thing in my program that I'm using elastic bands for is Nordic curls. So I do Nordic curls on a bench, and then I use the elastic bands like tied sort of under my arms in order to assist the Nordic curls because Nordic curls are still too heavy for me. So I use them for that. But I don't really use them for much else. Obviously, bands are very versatile, especially if you're doing like body weight stuff and you need assistance with them. But overall, yeah, I don't use them that much. They're very, very good for the Nordic curls, and I like to have them, but I could probably do without them. So I'd say maybe C tier. Yeah, C tier. Sounds good. Next up are the gymnastic rings. Yeah, I mean, these are going to go in S tier, just obviously. They probably would be the number one thing I'd buy before a pull-up bar if you could use them without a pull-up bar, because obviously gymnastic rings are only useful if you can hang them from something in order to actually use them. But yeah, the gymnastics rings are so underrated as a piece of kit. They're very, very small and portable. So when you're not in your home gym, you can take them around with you to go to a commercial gym. You can take them around with you. You can work out in a park. And honestly, you can get like a great upper body workout just using rings alone. They're super fantastic. In my program right now, I'm just doing dips and push-ups on them. But like, yeah, without the rings, I wouldn't be able to do dips, and push-ups just wouldn't be that hard. So I absolutely love the rings. Yeah, cheap, effective, amazing. S tier. What more do you got to say? So the next one, oh my god, these photos are so shit. Okay, so the next one is, I guess, like yeah, it's my pulley. There we go, with a lovely bowline knot underneath. So I just got this recently, and I imagine if I were to do one of these like a year from now or 2 years from now, I might actually put this in S tier. But for now, I don't think it's quite S tier because I'm basically only using it for one exercise. But the pulley, when placed on top of the pull-up bar, aroused me to basically have a cable machine. So it's not as versatile as like a full adjustable cable machine where you can change the height of it and like have multiple pulleys pulling from below, for instance. But with one pulley, you can suddenly do cable exercises. So I've been doing the calamari lat row, lat pull down, I guess. So like a one arm variation of a lat pull down with some twisting, and yeah, the cable just makes it so good. These just feel incredible. They really help me engage with my lats in a way that I just don't quite get on pull-ups, and so I love it. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, this one. I would say that if you are looking into buying a pulley in order to use as like a cable machine, make sure that it has ball bearings in it. If it doesn't have ball bearings, it's going to heat up very fast and have way too much friction and just not be very useful. So keep that one in mind. Yeah, pulley strictly into A tier. All right, these next thing are sort of, they're pull-up grips essentially, but I got those because I thought it would be good to have like nice rolling handles in order to like increase the grip demands of doing pulling exercises, and they can also rotate in this direction so you can get like neutral grips. But honestly, these ones that I bought, I feel like the instability, which I thought would be like a bonus, is actually kind of a negative aspect of them. Honestly, I find they make pull-ups so much harder that I'm not getting a good like back stimulus out of them, and I'm only getting a grip stimulus, but they're just not that fun to just do things like dead hangs on. So like, honestly, I use these every so often when I like really want to do a neutral grip pull up and I can't be arsed to just adjust my rings to put them up a little bit higher. But overall, probably would not recommend. Let's put this in D tier. All right. So the next one is one of the most important things of the whole gym, which is the actual squat rack. So this squat rack is fantastic. It also, features the pull-up bar on the top. It's very small. It's lightweight. It's actually foldable, although I don't have any reason to fold it away. But yeah, it's pretty fantastic. So I think the squat rack, I use it for everything because that's where the barbell goes, and that's where the pull-up bar and thus the rings go. And it's sort of the focal point of the whole gym. So yeah, absolutely incredible. One of the best pieces of kit for sure. The only negative thing there is about this specific one is that the max load is 130 kilos on the pull-up bar. So when I'm doing weighted calisthenics, I weigh like almost 90 kilos right now. So when I'm doing weighted calisthenics, I can't put on more than 40 kilograms to it, which isn't a problem when I'm doing like medium to high reps, but it does stop me from like testing my 1 rep maxes in weighted pull-ups and dips. So like one day it'd be nice to get a better pull-up bar that has a higher weight rating, but for most intents and purposes, and for my current strength levels right now, it's pretty fantastic. Squat rack, definitely S tier. All right, next up is the fat grips. Again, these are something that I kind of thought they would just revolutionize my like grip training, but honestly, I don't use them nearly as much as I thought I would. I thought I would just be whacking them on my dumbbell, and like all of my dumbbell exercises I just want to do with the fat grips because it'll make them a little bit harder and sort of turn them into a forearm exercise. But I honestly found that I just didn't really like it. It does make pretty much any exercise a little bit harder, but turning everything into a grip exercise is Yeah, it seemed like a good idea in my head, but it's just not that great. I think the only sort of like standard exercise that I actually do still use these for are recline bicep curls, because I feel like for those, they really give a good forearm burn. And then once I can't do any more of those, I can just drop the fat groups and then do a drop set on the regular one, and I still get a good bicep workout. So I really like them for that. The only other things I really use them for are just actual grip isolation training. Like, so I might just do pull-ups with them, or I might do kind of like farmer's walks with the dumbbell, or just like rack pulls with the barbell. Those are all good for training the grip. But in terms of like versatility for like a full body workout, yeah, they're not that great. But they're good for what they are. So I think I'll put them in C tier. I'll put the bands. Next one is the mini rig, my little Bluetooth speaker. Again, not technically gym equipment, but when you're working out, you got to get stoked. You got to have the right mindset to really attack your sets with intensity, right? So having some sort of music is super important. So yeah, this one I'll put up with the air conditioning tier here, A. Yeah, A tier. Without listening to loud music, I think I would not enjoy my workouts quite as much. And if I didn't enjoy my workouts quite as much, I probably would skip them more often than I do, and I would probably get less out of them. So yeah, in order to keep the habit going for the long term, you got to make it really, really enjoyable. So listen to your tunes, even if that's just through your earbuds. All right, next up we have these little push-up handle things. Yeah, these are fantastic. Great to make push-ups a little bit harder. You can get a little bit more range of motion out of them. I think the other nice thing is just it allows you to very comfortably do neutral grip push-ups, which are a little bit easier on the wrist and the elbows. Yeah, I absolutely love those. But do I use them that often? I'm not using them at all in my program right now. I really like them when I'm working like handstand push-up variations against the wall. I think they're also very good for that. And oftentimes when I go traveling, I went on holiday this summer and I brought those with me. And because, yeah, when I don't have access to a gym at all, doing like high rep calisthenics can just be, these can turn a set of push-ups that you'd be going for like 30 to 40 reps into something that's more like 15 to 25 reps, which can be quite a bit more enjoyable. So yeah, solid. Yeah, let's go C tier. Okay, next up is this ab wheel thing. I think this is the only thing in the home gym that I didn't actually consciously purchase. I think I just got this for free from a friend or something who was getting rid of it, and I can kind of see why. Um, I've tried doing the ab wheel thing, and ab wheel rollouts are just not fun in any way at all. I feel like they're very hard to progressively overload. They stimulate the shoulders a lot, and like not so much the abs. I'm not very into them. For my ab work, I really, really like the hanging leg raise. And I feel like I just don't need these. F tier, don't bother. Of course, if you like it, fair enough. And if you get good results in your ab training with an ab rail, by all means, keep doing it. But nah, not for me. All right, next up here is, oh yeah, this is a washcloth. And this is one piece of kit that I use just to do my jaw and neck training. So there's basically only one exercise I do with this, which is, yeah, sort of like neck raises. And yeah, very, very niche, but kind of the only thing for it. Obviously, the cost of a washcloth is very low, essentially negligible if you already own them. But yeah, I used to do a little bit of neck training when I was having trouble with some tension headaches while I was doing squats, and I do think that helped for that. But generally speaking, it's a bit of a niche application. So basically, I just put it on here to give you an idea of some bizarre neck training you can do if you want to. But yeah, let's put this down in D tier. Works really well for neck training or anything where you're going to hold something in your jaw, but you probably don't need it otherwise. Next up, honestly, what is this a photo of? Oh, I think it's just the barbell. Yeah. Barbell. Yeah, it's how we lift the weights, right? How I do my overhead press and my incline press and my deadlifts and all of my squats. Yep, absolutely essential. Barbell. Why would you not have it? Freaking incredible. S tier. So my other implement that's a little bit more niche here is this little hammer bar thing. Yeah, I think this, while not quite as useful as the barbell, is one of my favorite pieces of kit for sure. Um, it the neutral grip just does something different. It feels so comfortable on my elbows, and for pulling exercises, so like doing pull-ups on it or doing bent over rows with it, just feel absolutely amazing on my lats. I just get such a good engagement that I just don't really get from a pronated grip. So yeah, I absolutely love this thing. Also, I really like it for tricep exercises. I've been doing an overhead tricep extension variation with this, which just is so punishing. And then you can do the drop sets with skull crushers, and it just feels absolutely amazing. So I think while I don't strictly need this, because I could sort of do variations of all these exercises just with the barbell or just with dumbbells, oh, I absolutely love it. It's just a little bit more stable than dumbbells and very, very comfortable compared to the barbell. So I'm going to put this up in A tier. Okay, so the next one is just a picture of a bunch of weight plates. Obviously, if you have a barbell, you need weights for it. So the weights are I guess they're going to be the same tier probably as the barbell in S tier. So you got to have some weight. But a few things I would say about the weights that I have selected here that might be of use to you guys or of interest to you. So the first thing to notice is that these weight plates fit both my barbell and my adjustable dumbbells. So they have the same, diameter or whatever, and that makes them very, very versatile. I don't have to have like separate dumbbells and separate weights for the barbell. It's just the same weights. But because of that, it's useful to have a bit more of the smaller weights on them. So for instance, I have like 4 5 kilogram plates so that I can put 5 kilos on both sides of 2 dumbbells at the same time. So it's very useful when you're doing home workout exercises and you want to do paired sets. So maybe you want to do one exercise on the barbell, and then while you're resting from that, then you want to superset it with some sort of dumbbell exercise. It's very useful to have duplicates of the weight plate so that you don't have to unrack and re-rack the weights every single time because that time kind of adds up and it gets kind of annoying. So yeah, I have a lot of 1 kilogram, 2 kilogram, and half-kilo plates for that reason. And then just 4 of both the 5s and the 10s. And with that, I'm pretty solid. I don't need to have too many doubles of like the 15s and 20s because I'm not putting those on my dumbbells. All right. All right. So next up here is the bench. Yeah, bench is pretty important if you want to do anything where you're sitting down or if you want to bench press. Yeah, so for me, I do like incline bench on these. I use the bench itself as my sort of Nordic, my method of fixing my feet to do Nordics. I do seated variations of overhead press. Yeah, they're fantastic. Like I could probably get by without a bench and still get a pretty darn good workout just using the rings. But I even use, in order to do ring push-ups that are weighted, you have to elevate the feet, and so I do that with the bench as well. So honestly, yeah, it has to be S tier, absolutely. Next up is these little foam pad things. We got these from a friend who was moving out of town. I think we just got them for free from him. And yeah, they're pretty nice. Like I said, I live in an apartment here and we're on like the second floor and the floor is made of tiles. So I can't just drop weights in here. Even with these pads, I can't really drop weights either, but it is nice when I'm loading something, picking up off the ground, doing Zercher deadlifts, full cycle Zerchers, or just deadlifts or anything like that. Throw these on the ground and it kind of protects it. It's pretty good. Useful, but again, not essential. I don't know if I would have bought them myself. So maybe D tier on that one. Next up is my climbing harness. So I use the climbing harness how you might use a dip belt, just to do weighted movements, weighted calisthenics, really just weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. Obviously, a dip belt would work just as well, but I already own a climbing harness because I like rock climbing. So yeah, it works very, very well for that. Um, yeah, I mean, again, with rings and with a barbell, you can get great upper body exercises without doing weighted calisthenics. But weighted calisthenics are super fucking fun, and yeah, I just absolutely love them. So we'll put that up in A tier. All right, next up is squat shoes. So I actually just got these like 1 month ago, so I'm very fresh on them. Yeah, I mean, for doing squats, they're absolutely fantastic. I always struggle to get my knees far enough over my toes in order to get very, very deep in the squat because I have like the world's longest femurs. So these really, really helped my form. Beforehand, I was just kind of like standing on plates or this like wooden plank I had, and it just didn't feel as stable or as nice. With the squat shoes, it just feels a lot better. That said, I was able to squat for a year with before I got these, so it's not an absolute game changer. And I don't really use it for that many exercises. So I put squat shoes in maybe like, yeah, maybe B tier. Amazing for squatting, but not essential. Finally, what do we have there? Oh, we have my adjustable dumbbells. So I think any sort of adjustable dumbbell is a great purchase for the home gym. Yeah, it would be pretty insane to buy like a full set of fixed dumbbells for your home gym if it's very small or if money is an object for you. It makes a lot more sense to have an adjustable one. That way you can get exactly whatever weight you want all the time. The hack that I already discussed here is just having the same weight plates for your adjustable dumbbells that you have for your barbell. Then you don't have to, double and triple up on weight. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Love dumbbells. Yeah, S tier. Obviously S tier. So good. So what do we have here? So I'm just curious. I didn't know how I would rank all of these beforehand. And we kind of have like a nice triangle here where we have what, 7 things in S tier, 5 in A tier, 1B, 3 for both C and D, and then 1 in F. And I think if this was like me ranking a bunch of random sample things, it would be a little bit too top heavy. I'm a little bit too stoked on on some of these pieces of equipment, but because it's actually my home gym and it's this all of stuff that I actually bought and that I use, I think this is kind of what you want, right? You want a bunch. Well, you want a small set of super heavy hitting equipment that you can use for the vast majority of your exercises. And so that's the rings, the squat rack, the barbell, the dumbbells, the weights, the bench, just the absolute basics that you need and that you're going to use for all your compound exercises. And then everything else is more of a nice to have. I think, yeah, the pulley is pretty fantastic because it lets me basically have a cable machine, and the hammer bar is just so good. If you haven't tried a hammer bar, I highly, highly recommend you trying it, especially for skull crushers or some sort of tricep exercise or for better of a rows. They're absolutely fantastic. But anyways, yeah, just saying like it makes sense that you want to have as much S tier equipment as you possibly can in your home gym and not that much else, right? At the end of the day, in order to get a great workout, you don't need too much. Obviously, the more options you have, the better to some extent. But yeah, I have enough equipment now that I'm going to continue to make incredible gains for the next several decades of my life. And I probably won't need to buy that much more stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I can tell right now that the wind is blowing very hard, so I'm going to go out for a wing foiling session, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, and let's get strong for life together. Have a great day. Bye-bye.